Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair.
Ms Finlay.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, I'm going to be particularly interested today in terms of the cost of living pressures for Tasmanians and how support is provided to them as people, but also through their bills. The mention of the Power Hours program, keen to understand how many Tasmanians are engaged in the Power Hours program and in a cents and dollar figure, on average, how much someone benefits financially from the Power Hours program.
Thank you. Appreciate the question, and I think it's one of those important initiatives to drive that engagement, to drive that literacy piece as we're rolling out the app and asking people to be a bit more involved in their energy use and understanding when they use. We had Power Hours at my house on Saturday night from 6 till 9 p.m. We had a party going on. It was great. Everything, the lights were blaring. But, that's a new level of engagement with the power delivery to my house, for example, and my family's interaction with it. So I think as we have Power Hours, and I'll let the business talk to the level of value that's delivered through Power Hours, but its importance and value I would see as being as much that, but also engaging or having people engage more with their power. So
I'm interested in the global response, but given that you raised it, Minister, so for those 3 hours and you chose to participate and allocate those hours, you may then have done your own personal calculation of how much do you think you saved by allocating those hours?
Look, I'm not aware of the actual saving. I don't know the answer to that, but, I know we put the dryer on in the middle of a party. But anyway, probably one for the CEO to speak to in terms of the level of, value back.
Look, just setting the scene, and then Will can cover some of the statistics. But yes, it is a multi-prong. It's a loyalty program. It's an acquisition program. We use Power Hours for a multitude of things. It is ultimately a cost to Aurora, so hence why it's not 3 hours of power every day, all day, because it does come at a cost. Nothing's for free. But we use it as a multi-prong attack. We've had great uptake, and I'll get Will to cover some of the statistics on the growth in Tasmanians engaging and the benefits of the scheme. Thanks, Will.
Before you throw to the number of Tasmanians, the costs to Aurora, what are the costs of the program in terms of delivering it, managing it, the technology, the marketing?
Now that it's established, that cost is minimal. Basically we dial it up through our basically our engagement systems with customers, make them aware, so it's fully embedded in A+. So the actual cost of delivering the program is minimal.
Thank you. So the establishment cost of the Power Hours program in terms of the marketing?
To be honest, it was pretty minimal, so a number doesn't come to mind as to what that cost was. We would have to come back on that, but it was not a large amount of money to set up the scheme, no.
Thanks, Nigel. Thanks for the question. I'll come back, if that's all right, to the opening question, but the establishment cost in terms of marketing was actually reasonably modest, given that we have good access to our customer base. And it's accessed as a proposition by customers who utilise Aurora Plus. So as the Minister referenced in the opener, over 120,000, 121,000 and a bit as of yesterday, Tasmanians utilise Aurora Plus. So there's not an incremental cost as we go on to accessing or putting the different Power Hours events in front of those customers, be it through in-app notifications or emails. Now, some of those customers we can't reach if there are marketing consent considerations, but through the app, if you've got push notifications activated, there isn't any sort of material additional marketing costs. There aren't big campaigns running on an ongoing basis for this.
No, but so the establishment costs is something that you can come back to me with, and my question was how many Tasmanians have taken it up, and on average, what is the cost in cents benefit to Tasmanians for taking up that hours of power?
So how many Tasmanians? It's up around 100,000 now have participated at some stage within the life of Power Hours. And some of those will be consistent users. There is a a range of numbers of events that people have participated in. The events are year round, and on a per event basis there'll be different time slots, and we try to flex the time slots so they might suit a family or folks who might spend the day at home and give options to Tasmanians. And then some people move in and out of the state. So to nail it down and say this is how many and this is the average is difficult because people have different lifestyles.
I suppose what I'm trying to understand is, and you use an interesting word in your response in terms of it was an acquisition, so it's about loyalty, engagement, literacy, acquisition. There was a big that's negative. There was a big, what do you call that? Push to promote it at the beginning. And my internal contemplation was, what are the costs of promoting this as a communications or engagement exercise where to many in the community who are trying to reduce their cost of power, it comes across as though it's going to provide you with material savings if you participate. And so I'm trying to understand if people experience material savings in their power bills.
Take this one, Will. I don't think we've ever used those words that you're using of material savings.
Of course
it is
not.
It's part of our marketing program. It's part of our marketing program. It's given away $1.26 million, which is not an insignificant amount of money. 3.3